tired of all the uneducated noise you're getting from the droves of YOLO meme coin peddling douchebag gurus out there trying to use you as their exit liquidity? Would you rather learn a competent university level set of skills that will guide you in managing and investing for the rest of your life? Join us 3 days a week at Digital Investor. Develop your knowledge of game theory, cognitive bias, macroeconomics, monetary theory, investment theory, psychology of the crowds, and more. For more info on Digital Investor and how it can help you, reach out at nickblacknext.com.
You know, Brandon, a lot of people don't know that opening sequence you voiced the choir to that. All the singing that was actually Brandon. Yeah.
Yeah, a little backstory to that too. We all had to fly out. There was a whole group of us, and it ended up I had hired this whole entire entourage, but they all didn't really perform like I thought they should. So I stepped in at the last second. I stepped in at the last second and put me on voice, and I did all kind of the whole range of that.
They actually recorded. Well. There was 27 different tracks to make up for all of the choir members that really just couldn't get it done.
Which is weird if you're recording that many different tracks to stay on sync. It's pretty it's challenging, but we were able to do it.
We don't do anything because it's easy.
We do it because we want whatever the best result is, no matter what it takes. That's what we do.
You're welcome. You're welcome, world.
Thank you, world. Here we go.
All right. Brandon, what do we have? Do we have any housekeeping or emails that are going to make me all angry and pissy?
Let's see.
Damn
Let's just see. I don't think so, but this is like an oldie but a goodie maybe. Maybe this is a good one to hit. I got an email this morning saying, "Hi, Brandon. Okay. Wanted to move some Cardano off of your Roy and back to Coinbase, but I couldn't. Because I was given an ETH address.
No, you weren't.
And it needs to be sent and received on the Cardano blockchain, according to Yoroi help desk. Do you know how I can get it on the Cardano network or blockchain on Coinbase? If not, could this happen on Coinbase? Well, I have that too. I like this person, by the way, but we're going to help them because, listen, this is important to remember. So everything has its own blockchain. Obviously, you can't send Cardano to an ETH address. It will destroy itself. So probably it errored out in Cardano. So
you can't even do it. You can't. You just can't physically do it. That address won't work. Now there is an EVM. Cardano has an EVM. You can go the other way. There are some assets that can go from Ethereum over into Cardano if you bridge them and all that kind of stuff and do all that fancy schmancy stuff. Like for instance, remember AGIX had a Cardano version. But a Cardano address is for Cardano assets, ADA assets. And an Ethereum address is for Ethereum assets. Now, where some people get confused is some of the layer 2s, well, they might use the same, in many cases, they might use the same address as the original Ethereum wallet. Not always, though, but they may.
Yeah,
but they may.
Exactly. Yep.
Because they modify the layer 1. They take the same security. And now, side chains, typically different addresses. Layer 2s, typically same address, just different network within the that Ethereum architecture. So it sits on top of Ethereum, inherits the same security. Semantics, I guess, is whatever.
Semantics. Right. So if this person said that they were given an ETH address, this is what I assume happened, and I'm going to correct it too. So when you want to send your assets to Coinbase, what you'll do is you'll go up to transfer and you can receive crypto. Okay. And so when you receive crypto up here in Coinbase, you'll click on that bad boy and it will give you a token. This one happened to give me Filecoin. I don't know why it randomly pops up Filecoin. But I imagine that person had it randomly pop up an Ethereum address, right? And so they went and they're like, okay, this is my Coinbase address. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and go take it to my Yoroi wallet. But That's not the correct way to do things. So when you receive a token into Coinbase, they have a whole basket of wallets, okay? Every single token they have listed, they have a Coinbase basket. And then they end up forwarding it to your account as soon as they receive it in your sub address of their Coinbase basket. So they're going to give you an address of every blockchain, and you need to choose what you want to receive that in. So when you go receive crypto, you have to go down here and you have to type in Cardano, right? And then it will give you your Cardano address. And then you can copy that, take it over to the Yoroi wallet, paste it in there, and you'll be good to go. So whoever voiced that question, I could respond to the email, but here's your public informational and walk-to guide on how to get your ADA address to send over to Coinbase. So you're going to paste this address right here. It actually starts with, and you can recognize different addresses. Look, Cardano starts with ADDR. If you go to receive Ethereum, for example, it always starts with 0x, not OX. It starts with 0x, okay? If you want to receive, let's say, fetch, I don't know if you, oh, this is actually a bad example. Sorry, this is my bad. This is actually the Ethereum fetch. So if you actually send fetch to like a native wallet, it starts with fetch. It starts with FETCH, okay? And if you want to send a Filecoin, that's on the Ether network, so that's going to be an OX address. You can, then you'll start to deal with it. Oh, this is like native Filecoin, it looks like, or something. Anyway, cool. So you can notice the addresses change. The start of it, you'll be able to start reading and stuff and be able to know the difference. But no matter what, if you're trying to receive an asset, you have to correct the correct thing. If I wanted to get Uniswap, that's on the ETH blockchain, so it's going to be the same as my Ethereum address. But if you send Ethereum to this Uniswap address, it's correct, but Coinbase will say, no, you sent it to the wrong address, and they'll try to mess with you.
Oh, yeah. And
even though they done got it on the correct network and everything.
And the way you get it, by the way, for anybody that's done one of these things where they've sent them something and they go, well, you sent it to a wallet, we don't have any way to track it and all this kind of stuff. That's not true. Brandon and I did this. I was at the movie theater one time and they had pulled a shenanigan like that. And I tracked through Etherscan, just took screenshots. And I said, well, you moved it from this wallet to your community wallet, the exact amount. And then they quietly credited back my account.
Yep.
It's like, oh, we didn't get it. Yeah, you did, because you moved it 3 times. Oh, that Ether.
that Ethereum. Oh,
that Ethereum.
USDT.
Yeah, we got that
okay.
Ethereum. We thought you meant the stuff that was stuck in over in the couch over at MT Gox under Mark Karpellis' thieving ass. We thought it was that Ethereum. Okay. Oh, real quick. For DPCs, for anybody that was on the fence for being a digital private client, get off the fence, bro. Anyway, Libra, the new one we're doing, the new launch. I think that the token's going to go either it's going to ICO. Well, it's going to do their initial token sale launch thing, TGE, September or October. They're leaning towards September, but we'll see. It's not very far away. It's it's like a month.
A month away. That's
not a month away. Anyway, that's happening. The funding for that Wednesday. So the SAFs got signed last night / this morning. I guess it's this morning technically. So anyway, that's a new one. That's fun. One of the, you can either be really good, really lucky, or first.
That's right. First is easiest.
First easier.
Easiest.
Yeah.
Way easier.
Luck is not really a strategy. Anyway, so that's happening.
Your life on luck.
So we'll get that done by Wednesday. And then, that's going to be fun. And we will be now working towards listing that token over on the Node Market.
The Node Market.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out.
What? Go on. Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Wait,
dude,
hold on.
They're so comfy. They really are. They really are. They're comfy as beans.
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me they're like a slipper, so you just kind of slip them on.
You don't ever have to tie your damn shoes again.
No, they're really nice. The shoelaces are just there for show.
Yep. Now you know why I order every goddamn color they make. Now, let me tell you the ones that are hard to get. It's like a unicorn. Triple white.
The whitest of the white?
There's 2 different whites. There's white on white on white, which is the hardest. You just can't get it. You can't damn get it. And then there's chalk white on white on white, chalk white, like chalk white. You can kind of find those because people they don't understand that chalk white really means off white.
Yeah, yeah.
And those are like the most sought. So if you can get chalk white, or you can get white on white on white, woo. Did you listen to listen to Trump?
Oh, let's talk about that behind the wall, because I have like a whole thread of all the Bitcoin stuff, and we can walk through all that stuff.
Man, I'll tell you what, though.
I listened to Trump.
It was actually pretty cool. Day one, Gary Gensler, you're fired. You think Gary was watching it like, oh, come on, guy?
Dude, Gary is getting beat up lately, isn't he, though?
I think Gary was getting fired no matter who wins.
Yeah.
Just because the publicity is so bad. This whole choke point thing is so bad. Elizabeth Warren's finished. She's washed up. Although she's been washed up for 20 years. I don't even know if I'm right about that. Okay, do we have anything more that we need to cover?
No, we're good.
Public facing.
There. Let me yeah, we're good there. I'm gonna close those. Yeah.
Let's see. So if I sign as DPC today, yeah, you could.
Howard?
If you're not too busy doing push-ups, but you've been on the fence for so long. You know what? Everybody except Howard can participate. We got to protect you from yourself, Howard. We don't want you to think that we're using that as a lure. Okay. It's time.
It is time.
It's time.
Let's make it. It's time.
You know why my voice is going out?
Why?
From yelling at my cat. Mother trucker. He peed the whole house.
Oh my!
He peed the whole house. Everywhere he goes, he's just a little.
Oh, that cat.
And he's like this now.
Is he neutered?
Yeah.
Oh.
And apparently that just means pee everywhere. I don't know. He's this big. He drinks a lot of water. He eats. Now all of his servings are 3 cans at a time. Remember when it was just 1 can 4 times a day?
Right.
Now it's 3 cans 4 times a day.
Jeez.
Do you know how much poop that is?
That's a lot of poop.
Yeah, to not be in the litter box.
Let's call it poop.
Okay.
Poop.
All right, we're going behind the wall now. There's actually good things to talk about that aren't my cat pooping everywhere.
Yeah. Mr. Biggs, let me check your stuff while we go behind the wall, and it should be fixed in a second if it's not. So.
All right. Let me see. I gotta
try again, Mr. Biggs, in 9 seconds.
Oh, snap. Seconds. Ba, 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 ba.
We're going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.
Okay, let me get that one. See you later, orange pill.
Orange pill. Speaking of orange pill, I guess that would start us off pretty much, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Just got real.
Best moments from Bitcoin 2024 Nashville Bitcoin Conference. JFK, did you catch his talk?
I didn't, but I did. I got the gist of it. The idea of a reserve holding 4 million Bitcoin and what purchasing 550 Bitcoin a day or something.
Yeah, for like 20 years or something. Is that what it ended up being? It was crazy. I mean, that's a little out there, a little unrealistic, but I like his.
Where's heads at? Where's heads at?
The difference between RFK Jr. is he actually seems to know a little bit more about Bitcoin than maybe Trump. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second too. So, but he did have he was very orange pilled last year at the Bitcoin conference. He said 87% of his net worth is now in Bitcoin or something like that. Something crazy like that, right?
Jesus. Welcome aboard, buddy.
Yeah. Welcome to our world.
Benvenido.
Yes. Talk about it. Edward Snowden, he talked a little bit about some things too. He was a little bit more cons about the government taking control of Bitcoin and stuff. He's a little more.
Where is he now? Where is he in an embassy somewhere?
I think he's in jail still. No, I don't know.
Where is he?
He definitely was not in Nashville. I didn't really listen to his talk as much. I'll
be honest with you. I don't know why Edward Snowden isn't anything. Okay. He stole some classified stuff and he said for the benefit of the public, I'm going to release it. Okay.
Yeah.
But why does that make him like, he didn't run a hedge fund. He didn't solve hunger. He didn't cure cancer. He hasn't done shit. He stole some documents. Cool, I guess. The thievery, treason. All right. He released them and got caught and hid in an embassy. May still be hiding in an embassy. I don't know why that makes him a thought leader.
Right.
Like what? I don't know, man. Let's listen to this guy talk.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't listen to him much. Michael Saylor, he had a good. Obviously, the way he approached things was a little bit different. Obviously, he talked about the maintenance cost of having regular assets versus having Bitcoin and why Bitcoin's superior.
Like kind of a cost to carry type thing.
Yeah, cost to carry type of thing. So he went through like real estate. He went through cost to carry gold, even cost to carry Bitcoin, like all those costs, and he kind of walked through those. I don't know if his numbers were correct, but he spun a good narrative. Like for example, he said it cost to carry a $10 million house in Florida. He said would be like about $600,000 a year, which I don't think it'd be that much, but I don't know. Whatever. He had his costs, and he kind of like said, you're basically cost to own a yacht was a big one because he said it would be basically 16% per year to own a yacht, which actually could be true on a yacht. So every 6 years you pay for the yacht again. So people that think they're like appreciating their value by holding real estate, he said it's not entirely true because there's a huge maintenance cost involved with all this. And then he went through Bitcoin's cost to carry and how cheap it is to hold Bitcoin. And he did bring up some really good points. But then he talked about his bowl. Well, that's
Then he went on one.
He went on his Bear base bowl. This is his base bowl, and based on those costs to carry and the appreciation of Bitcoin as a world asset and how it's going to eventually by the year 2045 be 7% of all of world assets. So his worst case scenario, this is bear case scenario, he said by 2045, Bitcoin's going to be $3 million at a 21% year over year return. Base case scenario, 29%, and bull case scenario, 37%. Right now, Bitcoin is $1 trillion asset, basically, right? Maybe in and around there.
Mm-hmm.
Makes up like 1% of the world asset classes. And he thinks it's going to get to 7%, which I don't disagree with. And so he walked through all the numbers to get to these numbers right here. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, one, I think that's all bullshit. Because there's no possible way to know. This asset has always made fools of everyone on both sides. So, I mean, governments debase. That's what they do. That's the only way they stay. It's funny. I was talking to my buddy Ben, my hedge fund manager guy, buddy. He was over last night. We had Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh yeah. We had those bowls. Have you ever had the bowl that's got chicken and corn and potatoes in it?
Yeah, I've had that. That's good stuff.
It's freaking good,
Kentucky
man.
Fried Chicken. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, we were eating it and watching our life deteriorate. And so we were talking and we got on the subject of these kind of predictions and how everybody predicts the US dollar is it's been gonna crash all the time. Yeah, no one's gonna buy US debt. And still, here we are. Still. People are still flocking to buy US debt because it's still the best of all it's the leper with the most fingers still. And Everybody said that the dollar would be worthless by now, which it's worth less, but it's not worthless. And everybody said, so people have been making these kind of inflation to the moon. Gold's going to be $1 trillion an ounce, all this crap forever. And the other assertion was that governments can't keep spending like this. They can't keep doing it because we're over 35 trillion now in debt. They can't keep doing it. Why? They do. They can keep doing it. I don't think there's one big crash dystopian nightmare. I think it's a slow boil. And I think that central bank distributed currencies, maybe, but treasury, national treasury distributed currencies, or, I don't know what you would call that. National NTDCs rather than central bank. People around the world are not big fans of central banking. But governments are governments, and governments have treasuries, and treasuries print money. So why wouldn't they print digital money? Well, they already print digital money. So why wouldn't it just be on a blockchain or distributed system of some kind? Yes, got it. So I don't know. I mean, here's my thing. I think gold will get equaled to or surpassed by Bitcoin. That's my case. I don't think it's a percent of GDP. I don't think it's a percent of the world, this or that. I mean, I think it's simply gold. Can we get to 7 to 10 trillion, or 7 to 11 trillion for Bitcoin as market cap? Yes. So can it do a 7 to an 11x? Yes.
He said it would be, let's see, what's 45 divided into 28? That's 990, basically 6 times gold market cap by 2045 is what he said.
Maybe. There's just no way to know. I just don't know how you math that out. Like, based on what? Based on the year that it went up 790%, or based on the year that it went up 4%, or based on the year that it was down 68%, or based on, I just don't think we have enough data. And I don't think we have enough, I don't think we have a fundamental, although AI is going to help us, a fundamental understanding of the aggregate behavior of treasuries and central banks, the aggregate debasement behavior. That's something that would probably give us a lot of insight. If we knew what real debasement was on a percentage level every year, hell, in real time, because it's debasing all the time. So if we knew what real-time debasement was, and we knew what real-time dollar creation through lending was, or just currency creation in general, how much currency is created just through lending, so like derivative currency, then I think we could get a good idea and go, okay, well, and extrapolate this out by population growth. If we look backwards by population growth, we have a basic idea of what X amount of population growth equals in terms of debasement and currency creation. So maybe we could do some loose numbers. My guess is he did his stuff with a magic 8-ball.
Yeah, I mean,
John, the point of the speculation is,
I'll tell you the point of the speculation.
Yeah. Well, you go, Brandon, go.
Well, there's game theory that's going to start playing into our investment strategy more than pretty much anything else has in the past. There's a lot of game theory that was thrown around in the conference that was subtle, that maybe not a lot of people picked up on, but I can guarantee you governments around the world are now studying these things and picking up on this, because there was a lot of talk about how Bitcoin could be used to start to hedge against inflation for governments and to pay off national debt for governments as well. And then I'll tell you what happened after that in a second. I don't want to get too far ahead, but what were you going to say?
Yeah. So these guys are all making these arguments so that other people start making the same similar speculative arguments, or using like, well, Mike Saylor said this, and even if it only goes halfway there, even if it's only this, and then people start saying, well, I got to get in before the next guy. So if you keep telling this tale, again, Bitcoin's a religion. I mean,
game theory.
All currencies are religion, but especially Bitcoin is a religion. And if you bring in more people, more belief into the religion, self-fulfilling prophecy. So maybe he'll end up being more of Bitcoin Jesus than Jesus.
Not manipulate itself. It's not manipulation. That's self-fulfilling prophecy more than manipulation, in my opinion. what happens is these guys talk about this stuff, and then the people start to learn about it. The amount of people that are like starting to read the Bitcoin Standard and put out new bills in the government since this conference even has been pretty crazy. So we can kind of go through that in a second as well. But let's go through BlackRock.
John, all markets, it's all manipulation. Everything is manipulated to an extent, but no different than two people playing like tug of war. That's just whoever wins manipulated, the other person didn't. Like price going up is manipulation just the same way as price going down is manipulation. If the federal government invested in Bitcoin through taxes or printing more USD, we could pay down the debt. Well, that gets tricky. I mean, can you buy $10 of debt to erase $10? Like, can you forward sell $10 of debt to pay for $10 of debt? Yeah, but that's a break even. The idea would be more that if the federal government started investing in Bitcoin, it would also force, well, one, it'd force market pressure because there's not a lot of Bitcoin floating around. The daily yield, the daily mining return on Bitcoin is what, 400 a day? Isn't that it? Somewhere around there, 400 a day is mined?
450, yeah.
Okay, so that would be more than total mine. So the idea is if governments around the world, hedge funds, pension funds, and all that, everybody starts panicking into the asset, or it becomes a treasury function on a regular basis, then it just sops up all the available Bitcoin, which obviously unearths new sellers, but they force the price up. If everybody's buying, if everybody's the buyer of first resort, then there's a constant upward bias on the price of the assets, small e, micro. So that's just a supply and demand curve. I think that's it. I mean, now, would that create so much buying that Bitcoin would surpass the buying that just the US is doing? Therefore, the price would go far ahead of, our wildest expectations. And then that amount of money would create enough to pay off the debt. But what happens when they go to pay off the debt?
That's always been my thing, because like I get that Saylor talked about how they could like pay off the debt, but how? Because you'd have to sell the Bitcoin, which would dump the price of Bitcoin.
I think his idea would be at that point that other governments would accept Bitcoin to eradicate debt dollar denominated.
Sure.
Because they wouldn't want crappy dollars. They'd rather have Bitcoin to trade. So you would just send Bitcoin. So basically, this is this whole idea of the Bitcoin standard, that everybody would just be moving Bitcoin around the way that they originally had intended to move gold around, except that the US pretty much stole it all and then burnt and then sold it. and then when countries ask for their gold back, the US is like, yeah, we don't have it.
Wait, we don't have a gold. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you don't have it? Yeah. We give you an IOU. Bitch, I already got an IOU. That's why I'm here at the checkout line. Give me my damn gold. I think the Germans asked for their gold back, and the US is like, nah.
Nah, we good. Go sell your Bitcoin.
Yeah. Do you think the Germans feel stupid? Hey, when the Germans were finished, that was in the 50s, right?
54, something like that. 54, 55, something like that. Crazy.
Well done, Germans. Well done.
They time everything's correctly.
You nailed it. You're down to what, 27% on your stupid sale.
Oh my gosh.
Dummies.
Okay. Maybe they're going to buy some Bitcoin back after watching the Bitcoin conference. We saw Trump's talk.
I don't think they should be allowed to.
So let's hit all the points in Trump's talk. Okay, so Trump was not as, it was kind of, if you guys watched the talk, it was more of a campaign talk. He was speaking nonsense for half the time, but then he would like throw these little trinkets of goodness in there, right? He started out by saying he's gonna fire the man immediately.
Gone. Day one.
Right?
Bye.
Gone. Day one, he's gone. He also mentioned the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet, and the Bitcoin. Bitcoin. How do you see him saying Bitcoin funny? Said he would synonymously use crypto and Bitcoin together. And Bitcoin, the superpower of the world. Okay. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris anti-crusade crypto will be over. The weaponization, which I have another snippet about that too, by the way. Okay, so this is on the day one, Gary Gensler. On day one, Gary Gensler will be fired. Donald Trump promises to immediately shut down Operation Choke Point 2.0. Okay, no longer will your government watch as Bitcoin jobs and businesses flee to other countries. There will never be a CBDC while I am president of the United States. Trump pledges to support the expansion of stable coins. Bitcoin is not threatening the dollar. Behavior of the current U.S. government is threatening the dollar. That's true. Never sell your Bitcoin. So this was towards the end of his speech. He started getting like real hasty and said, never sell your Bitcoin. None of you guys here will sell your Bitcoin. And he said Russ Ulbricht will be a free man after.
This is something I have a problem with. Yeah.
Okay. And so then at the very end of his speech, he used the words, or the U.S. government will not be selling any of their Bitcoin either. So he's going to take that 210,000 Bitcoin that U.S. has taken from Silk Road, and they will not sell that Bitcoin, and they are going to use that to start their stockpile. He said stockpile. He didn't say strategic reserve. He said stockpile.
Well, that's why you got to look at the Loomis document, because that's the actual document that they wrote.
Okay, so then we go to, Senator Loomis. So she has the paper in her hand. These are the papers she's waving around. I don't know if that's her speech or if that's the bill that she proposed. But this is
that's a menu. That's a freaking menu at the bar.
Basically proposed they're going to be buying 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the total Bitcoin supply, and hold it for at least 20 years. So they're going to be buying, what did they say? They're going to be buying 550 Bitcoin a day for the next 4 or 5 years.
Well, no, that's the RFK plan is the 550.
No, he was 4 million though for 550 a day for 26 years. Hers is 550 a day for 5 years, right? To a million.
I guess.
I think that's how it mathed out. Let me go check real quick. But
because that'd be basically 500 a day would be what, 178,000 a year. 176,000 and change
times 365. Yeah, that's about right for 5 years. 200,000 a year for 5 years. Yeah, 200. Yep, exactly. So that's what they're gonna do. And so I think that is Trump's plan. He didn't say it articulately enough, but she came out right after him and no, this is the plan exactly. Kind of walk through.
But I wonder, Brandon. I wonder if the Democrats are going to create some kind of proposal to get in bed with the cryptos.
Well, here's the letter that got written to the Democrats this week, right? Democrats wrote to the DNC asking to shift away from the anti-Bitcoin stance, responding to Trump speaking at the Bitcoin conference. Oh, man, that is just blurry as crap. They walked through here and they said, hey, can you please shift your views, blah, blah, blah. And then all these Democrats, this was led by Schumer and some other guys, actually. So they went and they signed this thing and said, hey, back off, crypto. We're done. We're done playing our game.
It's kind of too late.
Yep. Too little, too late, right? Too little, too late.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. They shit all over everyone for so many years, and it's like, what? Oh, and now 3 days later, you're pro freedom, you're pro financial. Solid. Get out of town, man.
Yes,
I'm not buying it, Brandon. I'm not buying their lies.
Wyoming. She went on a tweeting rampage.
She's pretty awesome. I mean, Cynthia, she's been pro crypto since day one. She's been she's
Wyoming. Wyoming is all over this, man. They know what they're doing. They're setting up their own tokens so people in Wyoming can pay for their own crypto assets.
Come and take it. That's funny.
What does it say? Oh yeah,
the Bitcoin miner.
Yeah.
Remember from the old school, don't tread on me and all those kind of flags. Those kind of anti-government. Yeah, it's funny.
No, yeah, she's all over it. She's been on a tweeting rampage since the conference too, and she knows her stuff. She's not stupid either. She's actually has researched Bitcoin. She can actually answer some questions about it.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool, I think. So good for her. Good for her doing this. It was a good conference overall, and I think overall you saw during Trump's speech, Bitcoin dropped. But then it jumped right back up, and now it's been trending up. And we can talk
what I thought was funny? There was people that came out with articles. Trump talked about Bitcoin, and it's going down. Buddy.
Oh boy.
Give it a couple hours before you publish these dumbass articles, because then by Monday you look like a damn fool. Yeah.
Yeah. You look like an idiot. But there's never any accountability. Nothing.
Nothing. The Kramer put, or what, the Kramer sell on Ethereum didn't work out either. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, Ethereum. We can talk about that in a second. Oh man, Ethereum's doing pretty decent.
So real quick, Big Kitty, how is everybody going to keep buying so much Bitcoin when there's only a limited amount? Because as the price goes up, it will unearth sellers. Somebody that wouldn't sell at 70,000 will sell at 100. Somebody that wouldn't sell at 110 will sell at 210. Like, people still have to turn that Bitcoin into something in their life to actually make a difference in their life. Having a bunch of Bitcoin in a private wallet. It was interesting. Did you see Cantor Fitzgerald said they're going to start financializing Bitcoin and let people lend against it?
Oh, I did hear this. That is big. That is big because that will mean less sellers by far. Because if you can keep your Bitcoin and borrow against it.
Yeah, because also there's no tax on debt, man.
It's a tax. It's the biggest tax hedge that everybody knows how to use too.
Bro.
Oh, they also talked about like-kind exchanging. They submitted this bill. Somebody submitted a bill. Yeah, 1031 of Bitcoin for real estate. If you wanted to do that. So
boy, would that explode the US real estate market?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I mean, here we go. It's happening. I do not know anybody that I know that there's people out there that don't know about crypto. It makes me sad. I also know there's people out there that know about crypto and I'm not buying it for whatever reason. That also makes me sad.
Yeah. Anyway, there will always be Bitcoin to buy, because if there's not, the price will go up and find people that are willing to sell, like me. Yeah,
you'll sell at $1 million a coin, won't you?
Oh, there's a price, buddy. There's
always a price because you always have more. So
yeah. All right.
Anyway, this is the Bitcoin miner revenue. Just reached an all-time low reached the bottom after the halving, not an all-time low. It reached the bottom and then the revenue started to tick back up. So this guy follows these charts. I like this guy's charts because he uses he doesn't use charts per se, like random lines on a chart, but he uses like what's really happening out there, like miner revenue, how much they're making, and when does that cause Bitcoin to bounce. He uses that kind of stuff. So actual real world fundamentals. And so he says it's bottom after April 2024 halving. I expect Bitcoin price to double from today in 3 to 5 months. This was, I think he posted this yesterday. So he thinks it's going to double. So from 68,000 to 150,000. So he said, and this guy's a little crazy. He said Bitcoin's going to be $800,000 next year. So anyway, and then the last thing that I wanted to hit on, this is after Trump's talk. Hong Kong lawmaker is proposing a strategic Bitcoin reserve for them as well.
Whoa.
So this is going to be a race to who can buy Bitcoin first for their Bitcoin strategic reserves. And it doesn't matter for us as little hodlers because we don't care who gets there first as long as they all get there. And whoever gets there second pays more. So we're good with either way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're all dollar cost averaging, it's kind of the same. It's like all the same. If they're dollar cost averaging over time, everybody gets the aggregate slowly increasing price.
Correct.
It is interesting. Someone noted that Bitcoin it just hit 70K and then dropped in the last 20 minutes to like high 67. Like,
ooh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So it's moving.
It's all over the place, Francois.
The Bitcoin is moving. They make Germans more happy.
You go between German and Japanese.
Yeah. You know why? Because Mount Gox, speaking of, okay, so we have to hit both of them. Mount Gox just has not had any effect on the market at all. They are like halfway through their coins.
It doesn't seem like it has. Now, we still don't know. I guess we need more data to find out. Is it because so many of these things were hemmed up in pre-purchase contracts?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say because I have seen people that have legitimately gotten their tokens and they're just like, I'm not selling. But then, yeah, I think a lot of them have to be going to contracts that have swapped and stuff, purchased. Okay, there's the Mt. Gox wallet. Yeah, they still have 80,000, so no more has been sent out in the last 5 days, but
yeah, here's what doesn't make sense. The fact that Bitcoin Cash is going up.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
That doesn't make any damn sense. And BSV, Satoshi's Vision, Craig Wright, who wrong, the thief of thieves, the liar of liars, Queen of Whores.
How's Bitcoin Cash up 13%?
It doesn't make any damn sense. It makes no sense.
Because you know that all those even the ones that I saw said they dumped all their Bitcoin Cash, bought Bitcoin.
This is people after Trump. They're thinking because Bitcoin's going to go up that what governments are going to buy Bitcoin Cash?
They're not.
That makes no damn sense.
Are the normies all getting on now and buying Bitcoin Cash thinking it's Bitcoin but cheaper?
Like dummies, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe it is. People. Maybe it's a dummy trade. This happened a few years ago.
I've had quite a few friends they get on, they buy like, oh, Ethereum Classic looks cheaper. I'm going to buy that. It's the same thing as ETH, right? But it's cheaper. And they buy it. Or Bitcoin Cash, same thing, like.
That's what you say. Is Coca-Cola Classic the same as Coca-Cola? Oh, remember when they did that New Coke and then Coke Classic?
Dude, that got wanker, didn't it?
New Coke was basically just like some spammy Pepsi. And it gave you painful burps, like really painful, like upper neck pain burp. You'd be like, I'm man down. Give me another hot dog.
It's good. That Mexican Coke is actually really good. Had that there at Boulevard Steak. Oh, that's stuff you dream about.
Yeah, stuff of legends. That's why we need Bitcoin to go to 1 million so we can afford to eat there every day.
It'll go there.
Just have a standing 6 o'clock.
So what are
Hello, Mr. Black, your table awaits you.
What we got to do is figure out how to beat Bitcoin. How do you outpace Bitcoin now? What are we looking at portfolio-wise, right? So what are we looking at in the markets? How do we outpace Bitcoin?
It's market time. Well, yeah, it's a good discussion to have. If I touch the right button. Ooh, do you want your screen or my screen?
Yours is fine. I just been pulling up the outpacing of the Bitcoin.
I like how I will say one other note. There was some people twatting, and they were saying like, we don't understand why XRP is not going up after the announcement. What the hell would Trump have said to you that would have made you think? And they're like, well, Gary Gensler's getting fired. Like, buddy, Gary Gensler didn't force Brad and Chris to steal from, because you know that there's another heist they don't even talk about. The fact that Jeb, Brad, Chris, and a couple others, they didn't make the early Ripple investors, the guys that owned Ripple, aware of the XRP like how they were distributing it among each other. You get $1 billion, I get $1 billion, you get 10 billion, you get 12 billion. They didn't feel like that was important information. Like, the guys from Kraken were early equity investors in Ripple. It was never passed. They just made the token on the side. So they pull that heist. Gary didn't make them do that. Gary was still teaching MIT. And then they do their little crap. You guys know I won't go over it. Oh, I will. They sold to market makers. They sold to institutional investors at a 30% discount with no lockups and then fucking lied about it on CNBC the next day. I've never been longer. I'm long XR. Just a scumbag. Like, no one made them do that. They did that. Gary didn't make them do that. And Gary wasn't even the one behind the lawsuit. That was the former head of the SEC as he left office. So why the fuck would anybody in the XRP community think that Gary Gensler getting fired would change what already happened in the past and is already being ruled on by federal judges? It's so astronomically mind-numbing. The other thing, this free Ross bullshit. Everybody had these free Ross shirts. Are these people fucking stupid? This dude, everybody forgets, he paid to have his partner assassinated, murdered, and thought he had been murdered. Got pictures that were faked because his partner wasn't dead. They faked it. And the only reason they didn't prosecute, this is what I believe, is because the 2 federal agents involved ended up stealing a bunch of Bitcoin and got caught, and the whole thing was messy. It doesn't change the fact that Ross paid to have his partner fucking assassinated. Why are they letting this guy out of jail? Oh, because Silk Road and they took his Bitcoin. And so he's a murderer. You guys know, like, if I pay someone to kill Brandon, whether or not they actually kill Brandon, I've committed murder. At that point, when I pay the money and I'm like, yeah, Brandon's dead. Woo woo. I'm a murderer, man. I'm a murderer. He did that. And everybody forgets. No, free Ross. Why? Because I could buy heroin and nuclear weapons from his Silk Road. Bitcoin. That's not a thing, man. Ugh. I suppose if all he had done was run Silk Road, but the guy's sleazy. And I'm not a hater. The dude went to UTD. He went to UT Dallas. It's almost like UT Austin, but not quite.
So close.
It's like the homegrown Dallas. It's like the Dallas half-ass version.
Yeah.
That's why I got caught.
Obviously.
Anyway, yeah, that's my little bit on that. Okay, let's talk markets.
So XRP's not going up because of the confidence. You're saying,
come on, man. God.
I mean, come on. Yeah.
You got to be a damn fool. All right. So where are we at? Everybody's saying, oh, we're going to hit all-time highs this week and all that. I don't think we're going to hit all-time highs this week.
There's a lot of resistance still at the 70K level. A lot of shorts. A lot of people are ready to sell. 70K is a round number. Remember that. So,
yep.
I mean, we could go. I mean, I thought we were going to hit 70K today. I don't know now. That was a big jump. Jeez.
Here's what I'm still, I still think Ethereum hasn't hit its run. So I think you can still buy Ethereum. I still think there's a 2x in it. I don't think there's a 10x in Ethereum. I mean, we don't know what the rhetoric will be over the years and things like that. But in the near term, over the next, say, 18 months, is there a 10x in Bitcoin? No, but there's probably a 2x, a 2 to even 3x in Bitcoin. I think that's reasonable. It's in the realm of possibility. I think there is a 2 to 3x in Ethereum over the next 12 to 18 months. I mean, I think probably with Ethereum, it's in the next 6 months. I think you get a much faster move. In Cardano, Shang hard fork coming. That'll probably put some enthusiasm. Maybe it gets 60, 65 cents. Is there a future where Cardano is ever $3 again? I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know that. I just don't think anyone cares, man. Even he did a show where he was doing his impressions of Trump and all that, like his, like, here's my thoughts while it's all happening. Like, stop it, man. You're like a carnival freak now. I don't know, man. I have a hard time. Intellectually, you can get behind Charles, but everything else is just so, he's just so weak, man. He's weak. I don't know what else to say.
He just can't seem to rally the right momentum to actually move the needle.
No one gives a shit. It's just, no one cares. I don't know, man. That's my take. So I don't think there is a 10x. I don't think there's a 10x in ADA's future. Again, short of debasement, mass debasement effects and whatever, inflationary, whatever you want to call it, money printing at the yin yang. So near term, no. Matic, I still think Matic will have a run. I think it's got $1.50 in it.
That's a good triple. That's a good triple.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You start looking, and so we had these questions pop up the other day, like, well, what should I be investing in that's going to move faster than Bitcoin? Well, the problem is it shouldn't be one or the other. It should be you distribute your assets in what your version of a diversified portfolio looks like based on your risk tolerance. Like we're investing in this new project, Libra, and it's cool. It's a data play, but it's in retail and it's in Malaysian and eventually Indonesian markets and all this kind of stuff. And it basically takes small retailers and helps amplify them and also monetizes their data and creates pools of data that they can access to further their online sales. Makes sense. It's retail play. It's data. We love it. It's a little company. Now, which has a greater chance? A token that is around a penny going to 10 cents versus Bitcoin going to 680,000 in the same time period. Well, there's a very high likelihood that this token, this new token, when it launches, will do a 10x. It'll go from a penny to 10 cents. And then who knows? It may go to 20 cents. It may go down to 5 cents. You don't know. But it probably can, it will go faster because it's smaller. But as you scale these products up, the movements are slower, but they're more consistent, more sustained, and much safer. So, you know, would it be wise to put all your money in the spammy? Would it be wise to be crypto nerd and go 3x long leverage on Pepe? No. Could Pepe go 3x faster than? Yes. Well, probably not now because even Pepe, spammy ass Pepe coin has a high market cap. So you have to consider those kinds of things. And you have to be careful that you don't start gambling. Well, if I just hit this or if I just hit that. No, man. You still have to have a competent, safe portfolio. Yeah. So, yes, when I talk about these things, I say, well, this one could probably do a 3x. Uniswap, it can. I'm kind of out on Uniswap. I don't know why. I still don't know why it would go up if they don't make any changes to that. I mean, they could simply roll out some new changes where, like Jupiter, you get to participate somehow. But right now, the token is just a way to line their pockets. The token has no, unless I missed something over the weekend, this token has no utility. So when you say
either. So I've been transitioning out of my Uniswap like every week into Jupiter. Like that's my direct trade.
What? That's a great trade. That's a great trade. You're probably winning.
I like that trade. I'm doing pretty well. And you know, Live Coin Watch keeps track of all those too, right? So yeah, if you go like put it into Live Coin Watch, you can see what percent you're up on your trade. There's some of them I'm up 40% on that trade. Like it's been a good swap for me. And I was up on the Uniswap too. So it was like up and then it's been a good swap.
Up and up.
Up and
okay.
Up.
Aptos, again, I'm not a big fan of Aptos nor the teams. I just think that they'll pump it. It's a trade only. It's a spammy company, and I would keep your position pequeño. Un poquitito. Fetch, I think they have to pump it. There's still no real utility. There is adoption-ish, but they still haven't. Has anybody gotten any clarity on when this merger is ever going to happen? They just keep kind of.
Are we doing a merger?
Well, the ASI thingy.
What worries me is that like we talked about it last week, that they're doing crap behind our backs without telling us they're doing crap.
Oh, you mean like the fact that they already cashed out like all their money? Yeah.
Yes.
Which they told everyone they were going to tell you about before they did it, and they did not. So God, it's just lies after lies after lies. Ugh.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome to crypto.
I got to answer this really quickly because here's the thing too on this trade. So the very first, if you're gonna do it now. If you're not gonna do it, don't stress about it too much. But that's just my opinion. Here's my reasoning. You want to vote every single vote, and we have a Jupiter vote coming up on Thursday or Friday, and it lasts till Sunday. So you have a couple days to vote, but you want to have all your Jupes staked for the vote. So if you're going to do this trade, I would do it. Time is of the essence.
Toot sweet.
Or just hold your Uniswap too, if you want to. But that's the trade that I've been doing lately. I've been getting out of all my Uniswap because I see Jupiter as being a better play going forward. And I believe that compared to Uniswap every day right now.
And Jupiter is a play against Solana. And if you don't want to own Solana, it's a great way to participate.
Yeah. If you don't want to own Solana.
If you've got scruples.
If you just have this like brain hedge of owning Solana, then you can own Jupiter and feel okay about it and still sleep at night.
Yeah, Bill, don't ever use debt to invest ever. And Barry, ASI from Fetch. So when is that transition going to happen? I don't know. No one knows. So there you go.
Solana has done a 6x on ETH this year.
Yeah. I mean,
Crazy
listen,
stuff.
look at the meme coins.
Look at Pepe too.
Yeah.
Look at Pepe.
Yeah.
But Solana is on, remember, Solana is on a single validator. Solana can shut down at any time, which isn't, and people don't care. I don't know what it is. Basically a meme coin.
They don't care.
Which that's what you got to look at it as. How much money are you willing to risk on a meme coin? Maybe $1,000, but at least in ETH you can put a chunky, or Bitcoin, for example. It's a safer asset that might escalate slower but more safely. If that makes sense?
Interesting. I had not thought about that because it's not a like kind trade. Like ADA is a layer 1. Jupiter is not. Jupiter is a kind of a rev share in the overall kind of activity that occurs in and around Solana. So these are two different assets. However, what would I rather own? That's an interesting trade. I don't know. I don't think you trade layer 1 for layer not.
It sucks because Jupiter was like 68 cents. And a few weeks ago when we were talking about it too, and Cardano, that would have been a good swap, but now it's not as juicy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what sucks.
And those are that's kind of a counterintuitive trade anyway. Now, I'm not saying I think Jupiter probably performs better, but let me just see something real quick. When I did my last Jupiter, I didn't buy at the bottom, but I did add some more because I started buying Jupiter at like $1.17. At the worst
worst time. That's not true. I have a few DCAs at $1.60. So, but I did buy some at 68 cents too. So,
but I'm gonna look right here. You got it at the bottom, huh? Damn, good for you.
No. Before it went up the first time, but even this last time, I think 72 cents was the last DCA on my Uniswap to Jupiter swap.
So my first purchase was $1.16 for a couple thousand. So I wasn't making big purchases of Jupiter. I still wasn't quite sold on it. Then I decided, okay, I'm going to do it. I made a big purchase at $1.099. So let's call it $1.10. Then I did I started dollar cost averaging, and that was 88 cents, 86 cents, 73 cents, 79 cents. So not in the 60s, but not horrible.
The 70s.
So I got about 20.
Are good.
Yeah, I'm around 90 cents. So I'm probably aggregate close to $1, which I'm okay with, because this is to me one that it's in there. I'm not touching it. I'm going to keep doing votes. I'm going to get the rewards, see what happens. If this thing goes to $4 or $5, I'm up out. I will. And what I would do is sell. I would just sell off the profit on something like that, and then just keep, whatever percentage was left. So it may end up being like take a 3x or a 5x, and then just leave. You don't ever sell all of anything ever, because you just don't know. Mm-hmm. But you sell based on your conviction, right? So that's for me, that would not be a 10x take 20. For me, Jupiter would be like a 5x take 50. So I guarantee a 2.5, 250% return. And I just let the rest ride. Just let it keep staking. Matter of fact, I would probably first start by just exiting my staking rewards, because those should be pretty significant. At this rate, that'd be about a double per year just in staking rewards.
Yeah, because you got the ASR and then you got the Jupuary.
Mm-hmm.
The vote this time, see, that's the only issue, is the vote this time's a little strange because it's the 30% reduction, right? Which is never like a great thing overall. It's never, I don't know.
I mean, this is basically the token burn vote.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Which everybody will vote for.
Like nobody, it would be interesting to see the amount that vote for no, but like whatever. It's going to get voted through, right? So then it's a 30% burn. It's straight across the board. Everything gets taken. But it's also a vote for the team to vest for an additional year, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's to continue ASR rewards, which is also cool. So
yeah,
win, 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 win.
And remember, when you're voting for the burn, they're not burning your tokens.
No, they're burning 30% of the basically the total supply.
Total
So
supply and the tokens that the team and the early backers would have gotten.
And their reason is they didn't bring on as many investors as they thought they would have, and they didn't need those tokens to pay those investors, so they think they can burn them. Which
and the real reason is because number would go up if you burn the tokens. That's it. They can say whatever they want, but they like cats, therefore I support them.
That's the cat reason. That's the cat logic.
Cat logic. Okay, where do you stake Jupiter? Right there at Jupiter.
Yep. We have a couple of videos on this on tech tips too.
Yeah, Don, go and look. There's a few tech tip videos. How often do they do? They don't do a burn on Jupiter yet. They haven't. This is something that they're voting on. It'll be like a one-time thing, a 30%.
Yeah, this will never happen again. Yeah, this won't happen again.
Well, till there's
I guess vote. Never say never.
Right.
Never.
Ooh, interesting. 5 coins to DCA right now. Brandon, you're up.
Okay, here we go. I'm actually back to getting a little bit more Bitcoin.
Okay.
Ethereum. I'm always DCAing Ethereum. I still like Optimism, so that's 3. Gosh dang it. I don't know that I need any more Jupiter, but that's what I have been doing. Like I said, I've been swapping out of my Uniswap. I don't know if that's a DCA because it's like a direct trade to me, but it's still kind of a DCA. So I've been swapping out of Uniswap into Jupiter. And the only other thing that I think I would get right now. StorageJ. I like StorageJ right now, even though it jumped a bunch because I don't have
but it came back down.
I know. I have a small position in StorageJ, so I would need to bump that up. That was a good one. Yeah. I didn't sell it when it bumped up either. I just held it and whatever.
Yeah, it was up at 50 cents yesterday.
Yeah. So it's dropped 9%.
Yeah. Okay, what would I do if I'm dollar cost averaging right now? I'm going to start from the bottom. And again, I'm not counting Hypercycle because it's a business proposition. I don't treat Hypercycle as a crypto token for the sake of number go up, even though I think it will. Okay, I would say data. I like data. I like me some data. So I would probably be okay with Filecoin at these levels, 450, 451. I would be okay with Filecoin. I would probably say Optimism, Matic, Filecoin, Optimism, Matic, Ethereum. Can't go wrong with a little Bitcoin.
I just got a little bit orange peeled over the conference. That's the only reason. DCA Bitcoin this week.
I should know this, but I don't. Is Ethereum gas directly tied to the Ethereum coin price? Yeah, because you spend Ethereum. Ethereum gas is Ethereum. You're using Ethereum. So yeah, if the price of Ethereum is higher, then it costs more to do that same transaction. Yeah, man, that is that. Okay. We talked about a lot today.
Yeah, we did.
Talked about a lot. Tomorrow we'll be back for office hours. What are you looking at today? Is there anything exciting you think? Any kind of newsy stuff?
News coming out. This week is going to be interesting. There's not like any big things coming out, but we're still, I think, going to be watching the Ethereum inflows. This is going to be the first full week of Ethereum inflows, so I'll be watching that kind of closely and see what Grayscale's doing, as well as I'll be watching Mt. Gox if they start moving any more funds. Not that I think it's going to have a huge impact, but the political scene is the biggest news stadium right now for Bitcoin, surprisingly. And so anything that's going on politically is kind of what's moving, I think, the whole market sometimes. So
I think if the Democrats came forward and said they're pro crypto, even if it's all bull crap, that would probably spike the piss out of Bitcoin.
Yeah, that would be a shift because that's a 180, right? So that would be that's what everybody's concerned about. If Trump gets in, everything's going to skyrocket. But if Dems get in, they're worried still. So if they did a 180 now, yeah, that's a win, right?
It's funny for Bitcoin. the price of Bitcoin will move around like the stock market does when people hint about interest rate drops. Like, oh, Jerome Powell, he said they might drop the interest rates and the market goes up. It'll be the same thing. Like, oh, the Democrats, they don't hate Bitcoin. Oh, Donald Trump's up 5 points in the polls. So,
yeah.
So
they
now
do
we're
have
going to
the
start
FOMC meeting on Thursday, which is a pretty big one for whatever reason.
Well, right.
But it's big.
The assumption is they're going to sit.
Until
I don't
September,
think,
right?
I don't think they should sit. I think they should cut. I think they should cut a quarter point right here.
If they did that, the market would go nuts.
Yeah. I think that they keep getting bad information, bad going to worse. It's obvious to everybody else, but bad for them. I still think there's a potential for a 25-point cut. Again,
in August,
cuts don't do anything, but the psychological benefit of a cut going into July, because August is a skip, and then September. So there we go. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we see, won't we? When's that? That's tomorrow or Wednesday?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
All right. Meeting. So we got some time.
Okay. Well, then stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything. My poor and solvent drunk, struggling on meth grandmother or Brandon, who's sleeveless, meaning it's really hot there.
Still hot.
Still hot. And on that note, we bid you a fond adieu.
Fond adieu.
A fond adieu.
If you're an accredited investor and you want in on angel, seed round, or early round equity and token opportunities in the artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency space, schedule an interview at nickblacknext.com. In life, you can either be really good, really lucky, or just be first. Being first is so much easier. Schedule a digital private client interview today at nickblacknext.com.